Hello and welcome to Lansing Pulse. I'm Ken Miller, joined as always by Lansing City Administrator Tim Vandall. Tim, the big news now is the K7 Eisenhower project. It is now underway. Traffic cones and lane reductions are going to be part of the norm this summer and fall. I've driven up there and I know that for a fact. So let's start with what the best advice is for drivers in Lansing, and actually probably drivers in Leavenworth too.
You know, if you're going to be traveling north, one of the things that you might be able to try is to utilize some detours. I know if folks take K5 and kind of go around the east side of Lansing, you can get out on Muncie and then go all the way up through Leavenworth. So that might be a good option for people. Another detour that people can use is DeSoto Road.
Mm-hmm.
Since we made those improvements to DeSoto Road a few years ago, the speed limit is almost the same as K7 and there's no stoplights. So that might be another great option for drivers who want to avoid that intersection. The other thing that I would really encourage people to do too, if you absolutely have to go up there or absolutely have to go through that intersection, I would encourage folks to try to utilize it during non-peak hours. So, you know, if you're going to go grocery shopping at Aldi, rather than going at 5:15 p.m., maybe try to go first thing Saturday morning at 8 a.m. or something like that. So try to avoid that intersection if you can. You know, no matter what, there's going to be congestion, there's going to be delays,
Right.
and I get it, people will be frustrated. The thing that I would also tell people too, it should be complete, weather permitting, mid to late November. So we'll get this done hopefully before Thanksgiving, and it's going to be such a major improvement. I think people will forget about it pretty quickly.
Well, and let's follow up on that. You know, again, hopefully by mid-November we're done with it. It's going to look different. It's going to have traffic flow that's more efficient and safer. But from an economic development standpoint, and I think not just for the businesses that are on the four corners there, but what does this mean from an economic development standpoint?
You know, it improves the access for all of those businesses on each quadrant pretty dramatically. It's going to make that intersection safer. It's going to improve the flow of traffic. And also, I think it shows that our businesses at that quadrant and then other businesses around town that we're willing to do what it takes to help them out. You know, that project was the brainchild of Mike Spickelmeyer, our Public Works Director. And when we knew Quick Trip was going to be purchasing that property, we started applying for grants through the Kansas Department of Transportation because we knew how bad traffic was at that intersection, and we knew if anything it would get worse. So that was one of those things. Once we knew, even before Quick Trip broke ground, we were working on engineering plans to get rolling on that. So traffic congestion, like I said, it's kind of bad right now, but it will improve pretty significantly once that project is done.
Okay, all right. As for the rest of Lansing, how about a development update?
You know, right now we're kind of in this unfortunate hurry up and wait phase. You know, there's a couple of projects along K7 that we're hoping to see get started later this year, but we don't have an exact timeline on them yet. One thing that we're incredibly excited to see, Family Eye Care is just making spectacular progress on their building along K7. So that's been really exciting. I think they just had it framed and then the roof just got put up pretty recently. So that's looking very good. Hopefully later this year we'll see some residential projects get started. I know there's going to be some projects with some new triplexes that people would be able to rent. And then hopefully in 2023 we'll see some new single-family home construction that people could purchase. Again though, it's challenging. Those projects take so long to do. And you know, with the nationwide finances right now, I think people are kind of waiting to see what shakes out. So we're kind of in this phase right now where it's hurry up and wait. But there's things in the pipeline. We just don't have an exact date for some of them yet.
Right. So you and I and Jason Crum, our Parks Director, as well as some elected leaders, went out to Bernard Park recently, and we took a look at the improvements that are being made out there. So give us a little report on how that's coming along.
It's coming along really well. We're really impressed with the work they've done so far. I think they've been slowed down slightly by the rain, but overall it's going really well. That's another project that I think is going to be wrapped up late this fall. I'm just thrilled that it's 3 local contractors who are doing the bulk of that work. You've got Sands Construction out of Leavenworth, who's the general contractor. Lina Weaver Construction out of Lansing is doing a lot of the dirt work and moving the earth. And Laven Electric is doing a lot of the ball field lighting and things like that. So it's really great to see so many local contractors and local jobs being created by that project. So we're thrilled with that. They're all doing a great job. And you know, when that's done, that's going to be such a vast improvement over our ball fields right now. I think we did the best we could when we built them in the 80s, I want to say. But they weren't really engineered, and I think we just kind of did things as best we could 40 years ago. Whereas, you know, these are going to be, they're professionally designed, they should drain properly, it's tournament grade lighting, there's going to be restrooms out there. So yeah, we're really excited about that. Like I said, Sands, Lina Weaver, and Laven, they're all doing a fantastic job. So that's going to be a really terrific project when it's complete.
All right, internally, employee retention is always an important issue, and the city, as you well know, recently completed a pay and benefit study for our police department. Looks like we're going to embark on a pay study for the rest of the city workforce, and given kind of how the economy has lurched a little bit here in the last couple of months, although unemployment is down, what is the latest on employee retention as you see it right now, and what this study may show us?
You know, we're getting the study kicked off. It's about 2 months into it, and the consultant is reviewing everyone's job descriptions, experience, wages, things like that. So yeah, we're hoping to have that wrapped up in the next 3, 4, 5 months. One of the things that I think is fascinating, I love going to meetings and finding out what other cities are doing and projects other cities are working on. And I was at a meeting with other city managers in the Kansas City Metro recently, and it seemed like 2/3 of the cities in the Kansas City Metro are embarking on pay studies either last year or this year or next year.
Good for consultants.
Good for consultants, but it's one of those things where it kind of shows you that this is a problem that's not unique to Lansing right now. It's a problem everywhere. You know, every city is competing for really good employees, and if we want to recruit and retain our really good employees, we have to be competitive. I know it's important for us to be competitive in a responsible way, but they're working on that right now. I know one of the things they'll also be looking at is our city benefit package, so the type of health insurance and what we contribute for health insurance, supplemental benefits like retirement and things like that. So I mean, it's a pretty labor-intensive project that they're working on. It's the same consultant who did our public safety pay study last year, so there's a level of comfort with that consultant. We feel good about her. And her firm does a terrific job. So, but yeah, we're hoping that is wrapped up in maybe 3 or 4 months. But yeah, recruiting and retaining good people, that's incredibly important for me and the entire city council.
Right, and it's a challenge not only for Lansing, but for all the other cities, as you've mentioned.
Exactly.
All right, lastly, we have our largest city event of the year coming up on July 2nd. It's the fireworks show. We're going to have music, we're going to have family activities. It's all over our webpage and our social media. All right, what can you tell us about the event, starting with the location this year?
So we had to switch up the location this year because Bernard Park is being torn up right now. So the location is in Town Center this year. It's going to be between Mary Street and I believe K Street, so in that little strip there along Center Drive. So that's one of the benefits that we've actually heard from residents is it's going to be more walkable than it had been in years past. So hopefully residents can go there and they might not have to drive. The flip side of having it at that location, it's going to be a little bit more compact than it had been before. You know, I'm not sure if we'll have quite as many food trucks or inflatables, or if we do, it's going to be very tight. But we're incredibly excited about that. I know we recently released the names of some of the bands that were coming, and people sounded excited about that. Our Community and Economic Development Director, Matt Schmitz, was talking to me about the food trucks, and I just saw the contract for the inflatables recently. So I mean, it's going to be a really family-friendly event. So we would really encourage people, bring the kids down. This is going to be a great time for everybody. I think they always light the fireworks off once it gets pitch black, so it might be
10 o'clock.
Yeah, 9:45, 10 by the time they light off the fireworks. But it's going to be a great event. I believe Mayor McNeil will be giving a speech or a shout out at the beginning of the event also.
Right.
So yeah, I'm incredibly excited about that. I know we're planning on bringing our kids down there. It's going to be a great time, so we really encourage folks to come out July 2nd
Right.
in Town Center.
And there will be music basically from 3 o'clock right up until when the fireworks start. So 5.5 hours worth of music, live music.
Yeah.
So I think that's another draw on top of the fireworks as well. All right, I've been speaking with Lansing City Administrator Tim Vandall for Lansing Pulse. I'm Ken Miller.